Join us on Geek Blood, the show you can't ignore. Wayne and Kevin diving deep into all things galore. Comic book, movie, sci-fi, and action thrill. Reviewing new TV shows, we keep it real. Reminiscing the attitude era, wrestling at its peak. Nostalgia from the 80s and 90s, memories we seek. Pineapples for our rings, a unique touch. Geek culture in our blood, we love it so much. Geek Blood forever, we love it so much. Geek Blood, where we talk about it all, from superheroes to wrestlers. We stand tall, Ray and Kevin, the dynamic duo in sight. Geek Blood, shining bright, shining bright. Did you hear about Pluto? That's messed up, right? Geek Blood, taking you on a nostalgia flight. From movies to TV, we cover it all. Join us every week, we'll have a ball. Shuffle.
Hey, what's happening?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
We are 1 week away from Thanksgiving. Watched a bunch of stuff because we're taking off next week. Actually, it was a very fulfilling week of watching on my part this week. And we'll talk all about that. But first, we need to talk about this article that came out from IGN. We haven't talked about a list in a while. And last week, IGN came out with a list of the 25 best Nintendo games of all time. That's from every console, from the original NES to the Switch now. In your opinion, top 3 games that have ever been out on the Nintendo. I mean, we could both agree Ocarina is probably up there. Ocarina of Time. Changed the game for playing games. For me, Mario 64 is either 3 or 2. Because it changed also the way we play Mario. Playing the side scrolling was ripped right out of the window, ripped right out of it. And you're able to jump into Mario and actually play Mario in an open 3D world. So I guess that would probably like number 2 for me. But I don't know what my number 1 would be. Maybe like the original Super Mario Brothers. That's just so impactful for not only video games, but my life in general. Maybe I'd put that up there. I don't know.
Yeah, mine are easily Ocarina, Mario 64, and Super Mario World in no particular order.
World
World
is pretty. Yeah.
I mean, that might be a little nostalgic also, so it's hard to say. Nintendo's all based on nostalgia, I feel like, anyways, like whenever we talk about best games or best systems or whatever. But the SNES is still my favorite Nintendo system of all time.
Best Nintendo system.
3. Yeah.
Best Nintendo system, best set of games for that system. We've always said the best controller that Nintendo ever came out with was the GameCube, the original GameCube controller. Just because the way
unless you play sports games, but yeah.
Right, yeah.
The Switch 2 Pro controller is up there in my favorite controllers of all time.
That's cool.
At this point.
Yeah,
it is cool. Very fucking awesome. But here's the GameCube controller.
Those are amazing. Great. They contour to your hands perfectly when you're playing. Especially hours on end on Zelda.
Yes, they're very comfortable, yes.
IGN. Their list started at number 25. List of 100. We only have the top 25, but their list started with Super Mario 64.
I watched the entire video of the top 100.
Oh, you did? I haven't seen it.
Just blind rage the entire time. No Mercy was like 99 or some shit, and I was like, God.
It's one of the best. It's a top 10 game. I know it's a wrestling game. It's getting shit on for being a wrestling game, but it's a top 10 game. It's just what it did for wrestling games, but what it did for just games in general at that time. It was amazing.
Yep.
Top 10 game. I know you love Perfect Dark. Do you remember if that was even on this list? I don't even think it's on this list, but I know you love that game.
I think it was like in the 50s, I feel like, on the list. It might have been higher.
The other game that you love, that everybody loves, is GoldenEye.
Yeah, that was
not
in the
on
60s
this list.
or 40s.
It was
that
crazy.
Was,
everybody had.
I was very angry at that point in the video. I was doing a shot for every time I got angry. It was not pretty.
Majora's Mask number 24. I understand that. A sequel to Ocarina didn't really hit the same level as Ocarina, but they tried. Super Mario Galaxy, great game, number 23. Donkey Kong Bonanza, number 22. Haven't played it. I don't own a Switch 2. I know a lot of people like you. Love it, yeah.
Like, I almost gave up on it because, like, it's like the first 2 hours, you're like just like smashing shit. And you're like, this is getting repetitive, and then like the whole game kind of opens up after that, and it's a blast.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Crazy though that they would put game release this year on the list. To be honest, though, like
this
honestly.
early, right? Yeah. Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. This was on the 3DS. This was a great game.
That was a good game, yeah.
I think it was one of the best games on the 3DS that came out on that system.
It was
not
short
into
too.
Not into Resident Evil. That was number 20th. Resident Evil 4. Not into Final Fantasy. That was number 19.
Amazing game.
Yeah, I know you love that game. Fire Emblem Awakening. Not into any of that stuff. Don't even know what it is. Number 18.
I'm the same, yeah.
Same with Animal Crossing, number 17th. Wind Waker on the GameCube, number 16. Pokemon, again, not into that. Number 15, Gold and Silver. Super Mario Galaxy 2, number 14. Great game. The first one's great too, and we'll get to that in a minute. Metroid Prime. Never played Metroid Prime. I know a lot of people love Metroid.
Yeah, I'm the same way. 13. I was never a Metroid person, to be honest.
That and Star Fox. Never got into either one of those.
I did on the 64 bit, but that was it.
Yeah. Super Mario Brothers 3. Now we're talking. Number 12. Great game. Changed the way we play Mario. Changed the way we play video games. Came out towards the end of the NES, right before Super Mario World. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Not big into the Smash Brothers
was
games.
The Switch one or the Wii U one or the?
I'm not sure.
Which one was Ultimate? I can't remember. I've owned them all though.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is the one that came out on the Switch, Wii U. Oh, hello. Speaking of Nintendo, Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's the more recent one. That came out before Mario Kart World for the Switch 2. Great game. I preferred the one on the Wii, but the Wii had a lot of HD problems.
I think
Mario
Kart 8
when it came out
blows out of the water.
It does, yeah.
It blows out of the water due to the courses and the customization.
And that opens up the top 10. That was number 10. Number 9, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Perfect place for that game. A lot of people probably put it in their top 5. I wasn't big into that. That was way before I got into Zelda. I got into Ocarina. Number 8, Super Metroid. Again, not into Metroid. And this one, Chrono Trigger, number 7. And this is a more recent, I don't even know what this is. Chrono Trigger.
That's the
number 7.
That was that incredibly rare game on the Super Nintendo. At one point, the cartridges were going for like $300 or $400. When that was like a big deal, it got packed in on I believe that was the game that got packed in on the SNES Mini that everyone made a big deal out of because it was so hard to find, I think.
Okay, yeah, never even heard of it. Number 7. Now we're getting into the top 6. What would be my number 1 is number 6, Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda. It's a fantastic game. It's what opened up Zelda to the United States to everybody. We wouldn't have everything that's in the top 2 for this game.
Yeah, that was our Zelda also. Like, that was like when we were ready to play Zelda. Like, I think I was too young to try to figure that out in 1991 with the SNES. So I didn't play that one until later,
And I was too young to realize that Zelda was 2 to Mario in the 80s. Back when Super Mario Super Show with Lou Albano, there was a cartoon on Friday. Every Monday through Thursday was Mario and Luigi. But on Fridays, they had a Zelda cartoon for 13 weeks straight. there's 13 Zelda cartoons that were aired with Lou Albano.
Yes.
And I did not realize that being so young that there was a Zelda cartoon part of that, but it was. Number 5, this is a huge game because it came free with the Game Boy, and everybody had a Game Boy.
Yeah.
And we watched a documentary on this a couple of years ago, Tetris. It was huge. Bigger
this
than
had to
we
be
can
on
even
there
tell you.
because of this had to be on there because of everyone's played it. It came with everything. It's kind of like the all-time game for everyone.
Yeah,
I would say so. It makes sense
for our generation for sure. Super Mario Odyssey, going back to the Wii game, this changed the dynamics of playing Mario in a 3D gravitational world universe almost. And this is a. Oh, this came out on the Switch. I'm thinking of Super Mario Galaxy 1.
Right.
Super Mario Odyssey is the one that came out on the Switch.
Yes.
Same type of deal. Opened up the dynamics even more. And it did open the world up. And it was more of a... Reminded us of the 2D Mario of the past brought into the 3D world where the worlds were more wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And you could explore a lot more.
Yeah.
And it was great. Number 3, this is definitely in my top 3. Super Mario, top 3, top 4, Super Mario World. I beat this later on in life. I was too rambunctious, I guess, as a kid to beat this. But it's one of those games it's one of those games you can easily get 100% completion and enjoy it, finding every secret to this game. Every secret level, every secret goal. I think I beat it on when it was re-released on the DS back in the early days. I guess it was the DS. Or no, it was the Advance. With all the Advance coming. Oh yeah. Number 2 and number 3. This is where I have a little bit of a contention with this. This is more of a new generation rather than our generation, and that's putting Breath of the Wild at number 2 and Tears of the Kingdom, which is an expansive game. It's huge. It's 3 levels. You play in the sky, you play on the land, and you play underground. So it's huge Hyrule land. But it's number 1, Tears of the Kingdom. And Breath of the Wild, they're just huge games. I understand. It's almost like if you were going to compare it to anything, it's like Grand Theft Auto for Nintendo. It's just open world, huge Zelda game where there's a lot of hours could be played there. 500 hours, I think, for Tears of the Kingdom. If you were to explore everything, get everything, which is very, very difficult. They make it so difficult that I get intimidated by playing those new Zelda games.
Yeah, it's tough.
But that's their list. Our list is a little bit more tuned to our liking, tuned to what we grew up with. Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers, and Ocarina, all top tier games. Like we mentioned, you love Perfect Dark, 007. Everybody played that game. Everybody played GoldenEye. And No Mercy it just changed. It was a great time of wrestling, number 1, but it changed the dynamics of wrestling games and fighting games in general and sports games. But yeah, that's IGN's list. We bring up lists like this every once in a while because sometimes they're crazy like this and we can have a lot of contention with it. But let's talk about what we watched this week. You have not watched the new episode of It Welcome to Derry. So I'm not going to give out too much. I will say that we see some great shine in this from Dick Hallorann. We see a great backstory in this. And yeah, I don't think we should talk about much until you see this.
Okay.
Here's some photos for you. Just don't look at them. I was a little late in the photos this time.
That's fine.
There's a great scene with a balloon in a river. We see this silhouette. You've seen this in the trailers, I'm sure. There's a silhouette of Pennywise.
To let you know too, whenever I don't get to a show, I just skip all the. I'm just looking at the notes right now, so I don't see any of the slides you're putting up. But I've seen some spoilers on Twitter, but this isn't a show that people are spoiling, which is kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, and it's great connection to the Stephen King universe. I have been enamored by the YouTube videos and the breakdowns of how this all connects to everything. And when you get caught up, we're gonna take off next week for Thanksgiving. When you get caught up during this time. We'll come back and we'll deep dive into everything from the last couple of episodes that we're going to be talking about. But
sounds good.
Another great show, which you got me into because you said you were watching it. Hello, Zelda. Wow. Perfect timing.
Jesus, hold on. I'm back. Keep talking. You hear me?
Pluribus, a show that you got. Yeah. You hear me? I think we're good. Pluribus, a show on Apple TV. Did you watch last week's episode? You probably haven't watched this week's yet.
No, I have not.
Episode 3 last week. Episode 3. You watched last week with the grenade.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the last one I watched too. I didn't watch
it.
By the way, this comes out Thursday night. I didn't realize that.
It does. I thought it was Fridays.
Yep. Thursday night, so like 9 o'clock.
Well, it all depends on Thursday Pluribus. For me because football, depending on what game's on.
Right. But this show is fantastic. It's done by the creator of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan. And it's just amazing. And I don't want to talk about it much because there's a big, huge reveal in the first episode. If you have not watched it, First of all, pick up Apple TV. Worth it. Between this, Severance, Ted Lasso, Shrinking, there's a lot of stuff, original stuff on Apple TV that's worth the $12.99 a month. Get it. Watch all that stuff. Cancel it if you want. But get into Pluribus. It's a great show. And there's a great sci-fi twist in this that I've never seen in any other sci-fi project. And I think we're in for a good couple of episodes here. I think there's 10 or 11 episodes this season. I forgot what it was exactly, but yeah. I watched a movie on Netflix. A lot of people were talking about this animated movie. It was good, kind of out of my realm, but it's called In Your Dreams, about this family who's starting to kind of break apart at the seams. Mother and father are kind of in the midst of maybe getting a divorce, maybe breaking up, and the kids are trying to stop that from happening. And they run into their dreams. They find a book in a bookstore. The book is kind of magical powers, and they go into the dream world. And the actors in this show, Simu Liu plays the father, and Kristen Milioti from Penguin plays the mother. Craig
nice.
Robinson plays the little stuffed donkey there. Craig Robinson from The Office, from a whole bunch of stuff. But it was a decent movie, 4 out of 5. Another great documentary. This is a lot more on the page of what I love about documentaries, because not only is it talk about the history of Epic Universe and how that new Universal theme park came to be, but it also gives a history of the Universal theme park in general. This documentary is on Peacock. It's called Epic Ride, The Story of Universal Theme Parks. It's 3 episodes. And it talks about, from the very first episode, talks about the history of Universal Studios and how it all started with backlot tours, where everybody that went to Universal, they wanted to get a tour of the backlot of how movies were made back in like the early 1900s. And that's kind of where the theme park idea started. And that's where Disney kind of got his idea to show the behind the scenes of how movies are made. That's how Disney came up. And that's also how Universal came up with their idea for a theme park in the 90s when they opened up Universal Studios. So episode 1 tackles the history of all that going back to 1915 when Universal Studios began. Episode 2 tackles the relationship with Steven Spielberg and his overall long-term park consulting job when they were creating the original Universal Studios. And of course, the Jaws ride being huge there, and in E.T., a lot of his movies were a big part of the opening of that theme park. In fact, he is the one that opened it, and he cut the ribbon for that park back in 1990. And episode 3 goes even further into that theme park. They're struggling in the beginning. A lot of their rides are failing. Jaws, I think they had to close down within the first 3 months. But when the Back to the Future ride opened a year after the last movie came out, it was a phenomenon. I remember hearing about it up here, and I want to go on that ride. I love those movies. Back to the Future reinvigorated the attendance after a tumultuous year, in the first year of Universal Studios. Also, episode 3 talks about Islands of Adventure, opening that up, and the Harry Potter phenomenon. There's a lot of history to this. It's a great documentary. It's on Peacock, Epic Ride, 3 episodes, about an hour each. But yeah, it's very, very good. Another great documentary, only 3.5 episodes in because it's very long. And it's one of those shows where I have to turn off my phone or I'm lost, wondering how the hell George Washington got from Boston to Washington, D.C. I have to kind of see what I'm watching, and that's The American Revolution, a documentary done by Ken Burns. Fantastic documentary. This is the first documentary I've ever seen by him. I know we talked about it. You watched the baseball one.
Yeah.
And he's done Civil War. He's done Vietnam.
What's this one on?
Stuff, but this is on PBS for free until December 14th. It's also on sale right now for $16.99. If you want to watch it the night after they air. I think the last one airs tonight. But it's a great documentary, 6 parts, 2 hours each, so it's a lot. And there's a lot of great actors that came into this and became voiceovers for this. Tom Hanks, I think he's a producer on this, came in. Ed Norton, of course, you love him. Josh Brolin does the voice of George Washington throughout the whole thing. He's great. Peter Dinklage heard him in there. Samuel L. Jackson heard him in there. Paul Giamatti comes back, returns as John Adams from the miniseries he did on HBO back 20 years ago. That's a great touch. Haven't seen Alexander Hamilton. I'm wondering if they brought in Lin-Manuel Miranda. That'd be interesting. I would love that. But this is a great documentary on PBS. I believe, I think it's free until middle of December. It's going to be free on there. But it's very good. Very well done. It's the one documentary he's done that doesn't have any actual still photos because it's all paintings. Because he's done Civil War, there was photographs.
Yep.
He did baseball photographs, but there were no photographs back then, of course. So it was all paintings, which is really cool. Very cool to see. No video, of course. So, yeah. And another thing kind of related, another history-related thing, because I'm huge into history, is this docu mini-series, I guess you would say, starring Michael Shannon, Nick Offerman, Matthew McFadden, who I haven't seen him in much besides Wolverine and Deadpool. Amazing in this. This is called Death by Lightning, all about the assassination of James Garfield. This is on Netflix, 4 parts, about an hour each, 40 minutes each. Great. Very, very good. And it shows how this guy, played by McFadden, is kind of a mentally ill fanatic. And he thinks that he helps James Garfield become president. And when he asks to be part of the cabinet or be given some sort of a role for ambassadorship, and he's denied multiple times, he goes kind of a little bit into a mental breakdown and decides that he wants to kill James Garfield. That's exactly what happens. One of the worst assassinations. This is after, of course, Lincoln, but it's one of the worst ones because it took him like 4 months to die. But and then Nick Offerman plays Chester A. Arthur, who was the next president after him. He does an amazing job in this. Great acting all around. Like I said, Matthew McFadden is the best one. And I mean, Michael Shannon, great in everything. Great in this, of course, as a president who gets assassinated. But yeah, great story overall. A little bit of a main connection to that too. The guy who is in Billy Madison on the bottom right there, he kind of plays the House of Representative member or the Congress member from Maine. Blaine, I know Blaine House is named after for the governor.
Oh, Maine. Nice.
But yeah, kind of a local connection. But yeah, it's very good. It's on Netflix. If anybody wants to watch it, if you're into history. If not, you may think it's a slog. But I thought it was decent. But with that being said, the other thing we didn't watch this week was the Raven documentary. Can't find it anywhere.
Working on it.
Without buying it.
Working
on it.
And I don't.
We'll get to it.
iTunes, if it was iTunes, I'd have no problem buying it. But I don't buy anything on
It's
Prime,
exclusive. So. Yeah, it's exclusive on Prime. I don't either, so I'm not going to watch it until it's free. So
it'll be on iTunes. The same thing happened to another documentary that was like independently made. I wanted. It took a few months, but it ended up on iTunes.
Okay. Well, that being said, let's get into the news. And it's not a news segment, the trailer around it. Got some big trailers this week. We're going into what I like to call Avatar
season.
Avatar, yeah. And there's going to be a lot of big trailers. They're probably going to be a minute each. One of them is probably going to be Avengers. That was the rumor / newsreel that came out a couple weeks ago. We'll talk about that when we come back. But Avatar: Fire and Ash. The tickets went on sale this weekend. A really quick glimpse trailer, a couple clips from that. But yeah, kind of a big deal. Not big into the Avatar movies. I like them, but I'm not in love with those movies. I love the cinematic achievement it did for 3D back in the day in IMAX, but other than that, I it's okay. Are coming out with some popcorn buckets. I like to talk about those every once in a while. New cups, popcorn buckets, and that big creature they like to fly around as a popcorn bucket. They're getting a little crazy with these things, but yeah. Another trailer we haven't talked about. The movie looks fantastic. Good luck, have fun, don't die. I can't remember that guy's name. I want to. It's blanking me, but he's a great actor. He's in a lot of stuff. He's in Iron Man 2. He plays Hammer, but he plays a guy who goes from the future into the past, and he's trying to save the world. So it's very much time travel centric. It looks great from the trailer. Keep an eye on that. If we see or hear anything else about it, we'll talk about it. But it's one of those movies that's on my radar now. Looks great. Another trailer, another poster set that came out this week for the new Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Men, and a whole bunch of character posters as well. This will be out on December 12th on Netflix. Have you looked at the theater run for this? I know they're having problems getting it in theaters.
It's only having problems going into anything but AMC, I think.
Okay.
It's going into most AMCs. I'm going to see it at an Alamo Drafthouse next Friday.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it's just small theaters and like AMCs will have it. But there is if you go to Ryan Johnson's Twitter, there is an entire list of anywhere in the country you can see it.
Yeah, I saw that he posted that. He's kind of having issues with the theatrical release of what Netflix is doing.
I think he's pissed about it.
Yeah,
and as I would be too, because I believe he worked into his contract that it would be released in theaters, and I think if this one does well, he's going to post up a bidding war for the next one because this is the last Netflix deal he has. So hopefully hopefully somebody else picks it up.
Yeah, we have some more talk about that in a minute, but we'll get into that. Brand new 57-second trailer for Moana. This is a live-action remake with The Rock reprising his role as the big Hawaiian guy. Didn't see much from it, but it looks exactly like the animated movie, kind of like Lilo and Stitch. I guess they're gonna be doing this, but brand new trailer for We Bury the Dead, starring Daisy Ridley. First big movie I think she's done since Star Wars, a zombie movie. The trailer looks fantastic, very, very good. And she's off to find her husband who has been lost. It looks really good. Chris actually sent this to me on Instagram. Wanted to watch and talk about it. Project Hail Mary. Everything I hear about this, the book is amazing. Hey, quiet. The book is amazing. And everybody that's read the book says that there's a lot to this movie that people don't even understand yet. So, cannot wait. Comes out in March 20th of next year. Trailer looked great. And finally, a trailer for Hunger Games: Sunrise of the Reaping. This is a prequel set more closer to the modern times. I think 20 years before the Jennifer Lawrence Hunger Games movies. Hey, come here. Quiet. And it's where Woody Harrelson's character becomes part of the Hunger Games. That's where he got his start, and this is kind of the story of that. It's kind of a prequel. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in it. Everybody that's read the book said it's great, so kind of interested to see how this movie. I still haven't watched the one or the first or second
new one?
Hunger Games, the one that came out like a couple years ago. I still haven't seen that. I do like those original movies though with Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson. Those are good movies. But yeah, weekend box office last week. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Number one with 21.3 million. The Running Man, 17 million. They're considering that a failure. In this climate, I don't really see that because nobody's going to the movies. If you're going to be in the movie theater, you kind of expect a number like that. And in the second week, Predator Badlands, number with 13 million, number 3. Now You See Me, Now You Don't opens with 75.5 million in the global box office. Budget for that was 90 million. So probably after the theatrical run, it'll make its money back and everything. But we'll have to wait and see. Running Man only made 17 million internationally, 11.2 million. Global haul 28.2, and the movie costs a lot to make. Edgar Wright's a great filmmaker. Glenn Powell, the next Hollywood, big, huge Hollywood star. So, kind of surprised that it did a low number like that. But in this climate, again,
it's also getting very mixed reviews.
Right. It's hard to predict how a movie like this is going to do. But yeah, Wicked came out last night. It's going to be huge. The Wicked re-release last weekend was number 11. Still made a decent amount of money considering what it had already done, but it ended up making 1.2 million just for a re-release from a movie that's already a year old. Re-releases are making some good money, but yeah, Disney teasers for Toy Story 5, Devil Wears Prada 2, both quick 1-minute trailers. Each of them had Toy Story 4 had 142 million views on YouTube, and Devil Wears Prada had 185 million views in 24 hours on YouTube. Yep. Kind of crazy. Stars. Don't talk about this at all. Cable company, now streaming service. They would like to merge with A&E Global Media, and they're already talking about that. We'll have to wait and see. But the big one that everybody's talking about. No, we'll talk about this first. SAG-AFTRA. Changing the name to the SAG Awards, Screen Actors Guild, is now going to be called the Actor Awards, presented by SAG-AFTRA. Okay, it'd be kind of interesting to hear that. I think it comes out in January usually. So yeah, interesting to see that. But the merger that everybody's talking about, and everybody, especially this week, not yet, is David Ellison's Paramount Skydance. And bidding for Warner Brothers. And the big news that came out this week is that they've debunked, but a lot of people are saying that he's bullshit about it. Yeah. The Middle East are going to be partners in his bid. They're going to be putting money into this bid to make this so astronomical that nobody can afford it.
Yeah.
That can topple them. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Dubai, all part of it, and they're going to add their funds to their bid. And they all put in offers this week. November 20th was yesterday. That was the deadline. And Warner Brothers, Netflix, Paramount, and Comcast all submitted their bids for Warner Brothers Discovery, either the whole thing or parts. Some of them only want parts of it, the streaming part. I believe Universal wants the streaming in the film catalog and the studio. Everybody else wants everything. Netflix wants everything. And Netflix went out and actually said that in order to put that bid out, they said that they were pledging to continue releasing Warner Brothers movies in theaters. As we just talked about, they have a bad history of that with Netflix to begin with.
Yep.
So yeah, I
Krager's going through it right now with them. Krager wants theater, and they're like, nope.
Yeah, they don't care about that. They care about their streaming numbers because that's where they get their money. But that's their monthly money that comes in guaranteed.
Surprised. You would think Netflix would honestly just want the streaming library.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be better for them.
Or the studio itself is a great studio for building. I mean, having their own movie studio would be pretty cool.
I mean, it would be a great thing for like releasing movies too. Like, say they bought it for the catalog and then worked out a deal to exclusively stream for like 6 months the Warner Brothers movies after they leave theater or something like that. I feel like they should try to work something like that out. But then somebody else would have to pick up the other slack of the Warner Brothers properties, so the studio part. So I don't know.
Middle of December, I think before the end of the year, between that little area of time, there will be an answer for this bid. If they've been accepted, if they've been denied, if they want more money, who knows? But they're hoping by the end of the year that something will click. So we'll have to wait and see. Speaking of deals, Major League Baseball struck a 3-year deal with Universal, Netflix, and ESPN. NBC will launch a brand new Sunday night baseball franchise. Netflix is going to carry the opening night game, Home Run Derby, and the Field of Dreams games. I know those are 2 big games. And ESPN, I believe, is exclusive to a lot of games that are just throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was MLB.TV had them all. Now I think ESPN's going to have them. So ESPN doing huge numbers. Their streaming service is expensive, but maybe they're just looking for new content. I mean, it makes sense. Baseball, America's pastime. I can see that. But yeah. I talked about that. Paramount. We talked about Taylor Sheridan leaving, and the guy who was a co-CEO of Paramount during that time is also leaving and joining Taylor Sheridan to help him run his deal at Universal when he jumps ship. Universal has a lot to gain from a Warner Brothers merger. It's mostly, I'm thinking about theme parks here. Universal Studios, after watching that documentary, if they gained the Warner Brothers catalog, the Harry Potter stuff would be in-home. So they could have a lot of cool merchandising stuff going on there.
Yep.
A lot of money-making opportunity. A lot more, I think, than Netflix for sure. And Paramount could do a good number on that too, but that would be huge. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on how that all turns out. Casting news. Kevin Costner is in talks to play Bill Clinton in a political drama called Untitled. Currently in early development. Leonardo DiCaprio is in association with it. I wonder who's going to play Monica, and that's going to be a part of it.
My question to you, Raymond, did you see the political talk on Twitter this week, maybe by chance?
What political talk? It's everywhere. I stay off of Twitter except for
then I guess
Marvel
I'll just ask you this. Do you think they'll bring back Bucky Barnes to play Trump for the blowjob scene?
You mean blowing Bubba? Is that what you're talking about? Yes, I did see that.
And then the next day it was a horse or something.
There's a lot of political stuff on there. This actually took a lot of traction, but yeah.
But yeah, this movie will be interesting because Kevin Costner needs to make up all the money he just lost on those movies he tried to make.
His incomplete movies that he made. Twisted Metal didn't get into the first season much, but the second season just aired, but it was renewed for season 3 on Amazon. Stargate. It was a TV series. It was a movie before that starring Kurt Russell, I believe. That is going to be rebooted or continued on Amazon as a franchise, new sci-fi franchise. Are you into Stargate? Have you ever watched Stargate?
That is one show that everyone that I love in the industry says is the greatest show of all time, and I've just never watched it. Like Mark Bernard,
I never watched it.
He's a huge Stargate fan, isn't he? Yeah.
Never watched it either. I know a lot of people love it, but I never was into it.
And it was like that weird time when we were growing up. I feel like I don't know. I just missed it.
Yeah. And speaking of television, something that's crazy. HBO. Why? I don't know why they did this so early, but Knights of the Seven Kingdoms renewed for a season 2 does not air for a few more months, and Game of Thrones also. The House of Dragon renewed for season 4, and they already got dates for that coming out in 2028, and the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms coming out in 2027. So they're gonna have pretty much what they wanted to announce is they're gonna have a Game of Thrones for the next 3 years, every single year, and they have spin-offs planned too. So yeah, it's kind of a crazy time if you're a fan of the Game of Thrones. You also got new stills for House of Dragon with
Can
Rhaenyra.
you just finish the books?
Why is that taking so long to get done? That's the question that Kevin.
Because the bro writes, he uses a word processor he bought in 1987. Once the show blew up, he was at every Comic-Con and still goes like every con around the planet.
Right.
I mean, the show blowing up made him basically a billionaire. So, yeah, he just doesn't have time. Like, bro, get a laptop, type out some ideas. What the hell? Yeah,
he's slow. And now the story's been told on TV. I mean, who really cares about the book, I guess? I don't know. Leonardo DiCaprio. He has partnered with this new documentary about Oz, the documentary The Making of the Wizard of Oz, the original movie from 1939, talking about the technical aspect of that movie, how it was made. Victor Fleming, the director, Julie Garland, of course, and going further into that and exploring the movie and exploring how it was made. And how it became a timeless classic. Very interested in documentaries, so be excited to see that when it comes out. Got a first look picture, which went in production last week of the 4th Jumanji, the last Jumanji movie, starring The Rock, Kieran Gillen, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black. Speaking of Jack Black, we got 4 new Empire Magazine 2026 preview pictures, and we got one of them for the first one is from Anaconda, the remake coming out next month. We got a brand new poster for Acme versus the Coyote, Mandalorian and Grogu, and we got a whole bunch of Toy Story 5. We got a whole bunch of Buzz Lightyears out on the attack. 2026 is going to be a big year for movies, including this one, The Odyssey. We have not got the trailer yet. We're getting a lot of stills, a lot of articles about it, but we also got the very first glimpse of Robert Pattinson in this movie. We got a couple of glimpses. We got one, the very first glimpses, and movie's gonna be epic. But it's Christopher Nolan. Wouldn't expect it to be any less. Speaking of Christopher Nolan, longtime collaborator Christian circling a role in Heat 2. This cast looks huge. Michael Mann's cast for this. Leonardo DiCaprio has been confirmed. Christian Bale has been confirmed. Rumors that Al Pacino is going to return for a more modern day look. Austin Butler, Adam Driver, Ana de Armas, Jeremy Allen White, Bradley Cooper, Channing Tatum. This cast looks incredible. This is like every modern day big, huge A-list male star. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this even turns out with casting. But speaking of casting, when they announced the new Mummy movie last week, everybody's been talking about coming back. Rachel Weisz and Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser had an interview this week, talked about it. And he was talking about how The Mummy 3 happened, which is a terrible movie. And it all had to do with a cross promotion with, at the time, the Olympics were in Shanghai. And NBC is like, well, let's have a little, let's have the Mummy movie set in Shanghai so there's a little bit of a connection there when we air the Olympics. Failed miserably. Nobody wanted to see that. They wanted to see the original stars return to back in maybe Egypt, I guess. But I guess this story for this movie is something that he wanted to do 20 years ago when they pivoted and did this movie. And Brendan Fraser's been talking about that. He's been waiting 20 years to tell this exact story. And he's very excited. He's glad he got the call. He's waiting for the call. He's glad he got it. And the fans are going to be very excited of what they're going to get. So I'm hyped. I can't wait. Brendan Fraser, great in those movies. I just watched the first one again a couple weeks ago. Great movie. So yeah, cannot wait. And the news that crushed me this week, crushed a lot of nerds from the 80s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is getting a live-action remake at Paramount Plus. But I thought they were already making one. That's weird. But they want to Sonicify the TMNT franchise. And in other words, they want to make it kid-friendly. Which means they also canceled The Last Ronin, which we were very, very high on. We've been high on it ever since everybody's been high on it since it was first announced. Because they were finally going to do they're going to do a bloody live action, more adult themed Ninja Turtles for us. It would have been for us, of course, our generation, but they canceled it. And the director of Nobody was in talks to direct it.
Yep.
But it did get canceled. But they are going to be doing a reboot. And I do not like the word Sonicify, which they've been talking about in articles the last few days. I don't like that at all because Sonic the Hedgehog, haven't seen him. Had a lot. I know it had a lot of contention in the beginning when the first look at Sonic kind of was shitty, and then they changed it. I still haven't seen one of those movies, so I don't know much about it. But
right.
Got a brand new poster for Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is set more in the Nintendo Switch universe. I think this is a still from one of those universes in that game, Odyssey. So, Ryan Coogler talked a lot this week. The first thing he mentioned was one of his inspirations for Sinners was a movie, The Luck of the Irish, the Disney Channel movie that came out in like 2001. I remember seeing this when it came out on Disney Channel. I liked it. This is also where Tim Olmanson, who is in Psych, plays Lassiter, was in this. He played the leprechaun. It was a great movie at the time, but it was his inspiration. I used to watch that movie like crazy. His first introduction to some similarities to Irish folk music. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Ryan Coogler, we'll talk about him in a minute, but he's been talking a lot. And last week we talked about Zelda. It's starting production. And then still started showing up last weekend of behind the scenes making of of them filming this movie. And this came out, I think, Friday night. Glimpses of Zelda and Link, and I guess Impa, who's one of the characters in that. Not sure. Yep. But because this came out on Friday, on Monday morning, they released official stills of the production officially starting. And we do get some first glimpses of Zelda and Link, the characters, these young kids playing them. Very reminiscent of Breath of the Wild as far as Zelda's costume is concerned. Link looks more like Skyward Sword / Twilight Princess.
He does.
Still don't know anything about this movie, but it seems like everybody's saying inspirations from all parts of Zelda. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And let's talk about some swag.
Swag. Stuff we all get.
Come on, son. You know that's right.
Hot Toys coming out with a Batman Returns Batman figure. It looks really, really cool and menacing with the big wings that expand out. Got some close-ups here of him taking off the cowl at the end when he rips it off. Him standing over like a corner of a building, a whole bunch of accessories, batarang, a whole bunch of cool stuff. Also got got some brand new Hot Toy figures for the Spider-Man TV show from the 70s. I think it had like 13 episodes. The American version and also the Japanese version. Very similar, a little bit different. But yeah. And a new pop figure for Spider-Man and Mary Jane there when they got married. But yeah, speaking of Spider-Man, Sadie Sink. Rumor came out this week that she's joining the Avengers movie in the role that she's going to be doing in the new Spider-Man movie. Speculation running wild is who the hell is she going to be playing? Still going wild. We still don't know. But yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on that.
Mayday Parker.
Everybody's saying because of the multiverse stuff, yep. Mayday, the daughter of them sent from the future from another universe. But Tobey Maguire, another rumor that went around this week. This actually hit the trades. Will officially return as Spider-Man in Avengers Doomsday. I can see that in Secret Wars. Kind of surprised about the Doomsday aspect of that, but no official word, of course. But that's been a rumor of the week. Ryan Coogler, like I said, talking a lot this week, and he's talking about his next film being Black Panther 3. Working on it hard. And yes, it's the next movie. So he was talking in an interview with Deadline, I believe, last week. And yeah, so it is. And we have already talked about Denzel Washington being a part of that. Some sort of a multiversal connection, I guess. I guess is what they're doing. Could be a brand new Black Panther. Who knows? Both wait and see. News that you kind of already talked about before, but I'm going to bring it up here. Lanterns now going to be premiering at late summer of 2026. A lot of people are saying early 2026, but now it's been confirmed for late summer. So yeah. James Gunn hitting Instagram, hitting Threads again. Last week we talked about DC Crime. He had to go out there and say that, just FYI, there's never been a project title DC Crime in development. Not even as a working title. I don't know where this came from, but it's weird. And then he went on to say, and no, that does not mean that the rest of the story is false. So maybe, I think he's just talking about the title itself was not real. But the project with Jimmy Olsen probably is true. Again, no official word on that. Not even an official casting or anything on that. So speaking of that, Pierce Brosnan says he heard that Dr. Fate is going to be in the next Superman movie. He got very confused. He says, I've never banged down anyone's door. I mean, they know where to find me. I've heard that Dr. Fate is going to have his own show or his own movie. I've heard he's going to be in the next Superman. James Gunn debunked that and said he's never heard of this Dr. Fate rumor. I don't know if he's playing coy. Yeah. He's actually, who knows?
Promises made by Dwayne. I bet he just doesn't even know that it's a different thing altogether at this point. I guarantee you, Pierce.
That's what everybody's. Idea. Yeah, that's what everybody's speculating. And Wonder Woman is rumored to be as part of a casting announcement for Man of Tomorrow. Wonder Woman is rumored to be making an appearance. They're casting somebody in their late 20s, early 30s with a height requirement being very tall. So yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's not Wonder Woman.
You don't think so?
They wouldn't put out an open casting call for Wonder Woman. They would probably do what they did for Superman, where James and whoever was involved in the project would get together and probably send out feelers to agents, to people he might want, or just feelers in general of, do you have anyone that you think could play this role type deal. I don't think he would open it. I don't think it would be this public, to be honest.
Yeah. James Gunn posting on Instagram, and people picked up on it. The Wonder Twins and the monkey. Alex Rossi reposted this art, and everybody says, is he bringing the Wonder Twins into that movie? That'd be interesting.
Oh, God.
And finally, the other thing that he posted that everybody's talking about is this picture last week about, looks like grass or whatever. People took a Google image search of that and found the article that it originally came from. And the article is, a cubic millimeter of a human brain has been mapped in spectacular detail.
Ah, perfect.
More confirmation that Brainiac is the villain of Man of Tomorrow without actually saying it. But he's very much playing coy on that as well.
Yeah.
That's it for this week. Next week, we're going to take off for Thanksgiving because Hollywood shuts down Wednesday and doesn't come back till Monday anyway. In 2 weeks, on December 5th, we'll come back to the beginning of the month. We'll do a show and tell. Also going to be our 200th episode. Not going to have a huge fanfare, but just want to mention that. We'll talk about It, Welcome to Derry. We'll dive into these 3 episodes. Tulsa King, the finale is this weekend. I will talk about that. Pluribus, we'll talk about whatever episodes we end up watching. Stranger Things Volume 1 comes out next Thursday. Very excited for that. Volume 1, I think 4 episodes on Thanksgiving. Still have not seen Wicked for Good. I'm disappointed in myself. The Nevermore, The Raven Effect, that came out this week. Definitely is on our top of our radar to watch. In December, we haven't talked about it, Christmas movies. We've watched every Christmas movie that we've had on our list. I don't know if there's anything else we can figure out. Maybe we'll get into some Christmas stuff. On the 12th of December.
We got to figure that out. There's got to be some stuff we haven't seen.
Yeah. On the 12th of December, of course, Wake Up Dead Man, the new Knives Out movie. It comes out on Netflix. Fallout Season 2 starts on Amazon Prime on the 17th. Avatar Fire and Ash comes out on the 19th with a lot of trailers. On Christmas Day, Stranger Things Volume 2 comes out. The Anaconda remake with Paul Rudd and Jack Black. And on the 31st, on Christmas Eve night, the finale of Stranger Things comes out. 1 episode, cinematic movie. I think it's 2 hours long. So yeah, a lot to talk about in December, leading up into January and brand new year. So lots to talk about, lots to watch, lots to see. So thank you, everyone. And we will talk to you in a couple weeks. Have a great Thanksgiving. Peace.
Peace.
We're the Geek Blurb crew, here to enlighten you. Talking all things geeky, from movies to wrestling to our podcast is the place where you want to be for all the latest news and nostalgia from the 80s and 90s. We review comic book flicks and sci-fi hits, riding the wave of action movies with all the cool bits. From Iron Man to Star Wars, we cover it all. And when it comes to wrestling, we never drop the ball. Geek Blurb, we're the kings of the nerds, rating movies and pineapples, our opinions never blurred. Join us each week for a geeky chat with the latest scoop and a dose of nostalgia that. So if you're a fan of the comic book craze, or a lover of sci-fi and all its maze, tune in to Geek Blurb, we're here to entertain, bringing you the best in geekdom, it's our domain.